Hi there guys and girls, today I'm making a video on a stone I haven't cut before. It's Cognac citrine / Cognac quartz, both the same thing really. Here I've got a Preform that I preformed on 100 grit disc. So lost quite a bit of material because there was an inclusion on the table here, on the flat side here where I've got my finger. So it weighs about 29.5 carats, the Preform does, but I'm interested to see what this will polish up to. As you can see, it's not like smoky quartz, it almost looks like an amber beer bottle colour. So I'm quite intrigued to see what it will end up being like. And also intrigued to see what 29 carats will end up being. Obviously this is going to be a rectangle cut. I didn't want to go for a square because I'm going to lose too much material, and I have a particular cut that I use which are my own angles, which really makes these stones pretty amazing. So I'm not going to tell anyone what those angles are because basically it refracts light so beautifully that I'm going to keep this one to myself, the angles that is. So I might gem this up and come back and just see what this looks like. So I've gemmed it up a little bit with wintergreen oil, so just dab a bit with a Q-tip earbud, and a little bit of, I guess, a few inclusions on the base here. So this will be the actual pavilion, but that all cut out. But beautifully clean and clear, so this should end up being a pretty good coloured stone. So I'm going to lose a fair bit. I'm kind of expecting probably only 10 carat stone. Anything above would be a bonus. This side here where my finger's on is a little bit thin for the girdle, but I should be able to cut up to that and still have plenty left. So on to cutting this stone. I think this should turn out pretty good. Well, that's the plan. So here we have this Cognac quartz citrine, and it's quite a deep cut, as you can see. So I'm hoping that I won't waste too much stone. Being quite a deep cut as it is, because normally this would be a more elongated rectangular stone, being I guess more squarish, if you want to call it that, it makes the cut deeper. And I've done one like this before on a smaller stone. It comes out really well. So I've got a little bit of work to do here. I'm going to get 600 grit, clean those edges up, and at the moment I'm going to do a bit of a pre-polish on this girdle on the flat sides here. And this quartz is starting to lighten up, so it's going to be more, I think, like a darker honey colour rather than an amber beer bottle colour. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Okay, I'll keep moving on to the next step, which is the pre-polish of the girdle. So the pavilion's complete, and there's some big facets on this one, and I've got to tell you, it did take me quite a while to polish these big pavilion facets, just where my thumbnail is. You can actually see where I've marked the back of the stone across, and even that's refracting the cross in all different ways. Oh gee, I've got to tell you, cutting big stones, big facets is hard work. Yeah, you get a lot of carat weight, but the work involved to cut, well, not cutting, it's polishing. It's just astronomically difficult, and sometimes I might just go and do a few small stones in a row because the big ones are so time consuming. Anyway, I've got to transfer this, and then I've got to cut the crown. So on to the crown. So here I'm polishing the table, which is this section of the stone. Back it off. So be a little bit careful. So once I've done this, I'm going to start polishing. it's pretty much done. So here I'm using an optical grade cerium oxide. This is the polishing medium that I'll be using to polish the gemstones. This is a higher grade than what most gem clubs will probably use. I mix into a little container, into a slurry, and basically the idea is you get a paintbrush, just stir into the pot and just paint it on, and you need a good amount, and you basically polish like this, and you'll find that if you use too little it's not going to work. If you use too much it'll cluster up under the stone. But the key is buy good quality products. I mean, you can buy cerium oxide cheap from China for $5, 100 gram or less probably, but you're going to pay big money, you know, for high quality cerium oxide, and quite often these are better than what you get at the gem clubs, as I said before. So on to the polishing. So I've currently faceted two sides, the table and this bottom facet here, and as I go around each section of the stone, so I'll polish this facet over here, down below here, it'll get just harder and harder because as light transfers through the stone it just becomes more difficult to see what's going on, and you've got to hold the stone at certain angles, you've got to get loops out. I can see there's a few fine scratches over here that need to be polished out, so that could be an issue, and that's with using a fine wheel. So all these little things you come across, and as you get closer to the end, particularly on this crown, it just seems to get harder each time with each facet as you move along. So I'll do this bottom facet now and the other two side facets, and then we go on to the reveal. So the stone is complete, all done and dusted, and we have a beautiful Cognac citrine. Weighs in at 7 carat, quite happy with the result. Has quite a deep body as you can see, so a lot of jewellers would not like that. Compared to my thumbnail, as you can see, it's a good sized stone. Might have to re-weigh this or recalibrate my scale because it kind of looks bigger than 7 carats, but nonetheless, it's got some really nice flashes in the stone. You can actually see some blue flashes, as you can see there, if I can pick it up. So this amber-like quality is so much different and unique compared to most citrines. It's not even close to a smoky quartz. That beer bottle effect has pretty much disappeared. It's lightened up quite a bit. Has a beautiful girdle, and pretty happy with this. Would make a beautiful pendant, probably a little bit on the large side for a ring, but I guess it could be made into a ring also. These are more pendant stones. So very happy with this current stone that's been cut, and on to the next project. See you later, guys.